All right. How are you guys ready to go?
Good.
Fantastic. So, like I said, my name is Miss Wagner, and we are here to do some reading. Today we're going to be reading a really cool text that I absolutely love called The Secret Garden. I'm going to put it down in front of you so you can take a look at the picture. Get ready to read. Don't need to flip it over quite yet. Yes, there is, and it is a beautiful movie that I love. Here's the rest of them.
Isn't this about a giant?
I love that you guys are trying to make some connections with things you might have already seen, but it's based on a book. So this is actually from the book. So there's a book, and you might have seen part of the movie on it, called The Secret Garden. And the book is about a young girl named Mary who is orphaned. Orphaned means that you don't have any parents. So her parents had passed away, so she goes to live with her uncle. And while living with her uncle, she discovers a lot of new and mysterious things, including, what might she discover? A secret garden. So there's a lot of different secrets that she discovers. We're going to read an excerpt from this text. An excerpt is a really fancy word for saying like a little piece. Yeah, so like a chapter from the text. So are we going to read the whole text?
Yeah.
No, just a part. So you guys are going to have to figure some things out as you go. Another thing that's a little tricky about what we're going to read is that some of the language is from like a long time ago. This book was written many years ago, so some of the words they use are a little different. But I'm going to give you a tool to help you with that while we're reading today. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, this story is mostly about Mary, the main character, but in this scene, she's going to meet a different character. And one way we can learn about different characters is by thinking about their traits and then thinking about how those characters are different and comparing and contrasting their character traits. So today's big skill is that I can describe characters by comparing and contrasting. And we're specifically going to zoom in and focus on contrasting characters. Contrasting means to show how something is different. Show me with your hands how we contrast. We show how something is different. When we compare, we show how it's the same. When we contrast, we show how it's different. Awesome. So we're going to be contrasting two characters. And that means we have to do a couple of things. We have to know something about the characters, and we have to think about how they're different. So here are some steps that you're going to follow in your mind to help you do this skill. Again, these are not questions you have to answer. These are questions that you're going to ask yourself, steps that you're going to follow to help you find the answer to our question for today and to help you do today's skill. What's the first thing you might ask yourself when you're trying to contrast two characters? What's the first thing you might ask yourself?
What are the big events in the text?
What are the big events in the text? Every event? The biggest ones, the most important ones. So think about those big, really important events. What's the second thing you're going to do? What's the second thing you're going to do, Gabby?
What does
Character?
One says say,
Think
or do.
Perfect. What does character one say, think, or do? So look at those things that character one says. Look at what they think, what they do. Those are going to help you find that character's traits, what that character is like. What's the third thing we want to think about when we're contrasting two characters? What's the third thing? Mm-hmm.
What does character 2 say, think, or do?
Looks like this step, but for character 2. So the second character is we're going to think about what they say, think, or do, and that's going to help us find the character
Trait.
The trait, the character trait. And the last thing that we need to do, Miguel, is think what?
How these characters are
Different. And that's called contrasting. We're going to compare them. So we're going to think about their traits. We're going to think about how they're different. This is really important work for us as readers because authors want us to learn about our characters. And by learning about the characters, we can think about how they're similar, how they're different, and what we can learn from them. So it's really important work. All right, so here's what we're going to do. You're going to read through your text, and then you're going to go back, and you're going to answer your question. One thing that's special about today's note catcher, today's little note page, is up here on top. I want you to take a look at what I've given you up here on top. Put your finger on something that might look a little different, something that might help you today. Put your finger on it. Finger on it. Excellent. I see some fingers. What is that thing you have your finger on? What's that thing that you have? Oh, say it again, Miguel. What's the thing? A glossary. What does a glossary give us? Anyone know what it gives us information about words. So in this glossary, I've given you the definition of some really tricky words that are being used by the author. Remember, I said this was a story that was written a pretty long time ago. So some of the words they used to use in the past are different than the words that we use today. Take a second and read those words, see if you have any questions. So when you come to those words in your story, what do you think you can do?
Look in the glossaries.
Look in the glossary to help you, right? Some books have glossaries. I'm just giving you like an extra little help so that when you get to those tricky words, you can get some help figuring them out. There might be some other words that you don't know. If you don't know a word, you can always circle it and come back to it. We're going to spend a little bit of time tomorrow talking about some of the trickier words. Okay? Finally, what's the question you're going to answer today? We talked a little bit about it, but I want you to put your finger on it where it says focus question. What's the question you're going to answer today? I want to make sure you know exactly the question you're going to answer today.
How does
Michelle, can you read for me? What's the question you're going to answer today?
How does the seeming red show that Mary and Colin are different? How do you know?
So how does the seemingly red show that Mary and Colin are different? How do you know? How do you know means you need evidence from the text. Is it complete if you don't have evidence?
No.
And I know that there's some questions in the how to do it but box. Those are just the questions, remember, to guide your thinking. Those are the questions that you can use to help your mind figure out where the answer is. The big question you're trying to answer is, how does the seeming red
show Mary and
Colin are different? And how do you know? Give me a thumbs up when you feel like you're ready to read this text. Give me a thumbs up when you feel like you're ready to answer your question. All right. Read the text, answer the question, use your glossary to help you. All right, go for it.